Hi and welcome back to my channel. So I've really been feeling a little bit out of sorts lately, so I thought if I just take an hour and get some meal prep done for the week, everything will just go a lot smoother. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just keep watching. I'm going to kick this meal prep off with something quick and easy. Just going to make some jelly by following the box instructions there. Something the kids like eating when they first come home from school, or they like eating it just as a dessert after dinner. We'll also be doing a couple of snacky bits for the kids, as well as a couple of dinner preps just on those evenings where I really don't have the time or energy to make anything. Then at least I know there's something healthy that is all ready to go. I'm also going to prep some veggies because quite often I end up making dinner and then on number 99 I think, what side dish am I going to serve, and then there's not enough time. So I thought if I just get some veggies prepped, then that's ready to go as well. I'm also going to do a little bit of meal prep for my lunches because I find quite often I neglect myself. I will make sure that everyone else has healthy meals to eat and I'm always the last one on the list. So I thought if I just take a couple of minutes here just to prep some stir-fry veg here. So what I'm going to do is just chop it all up, put it in these mason jars, and it actually does stay fresh for a good week in there. So I'm quite surprised with that. And on the days where I really don't have time and I'm just making sort of ramen noodles, at least I can mix through the stir-fry veg and that bulks everything out and obviously makes it a lot healthier as well. So as you can see there, for my stir-fry mix, I added some red onion, purple cabbage, some ribbons of carrot, some peppers, as well as courgette, but you can use whatever veggies you like. I tend to just keep it really plain because that gives me sort of greater options in terms of spice blends whenever I'm ready to eat it. So I can use whatever sauces or whatever spices I want on the day. Moving on to a dinner prep, we're going to start off with a beef stew. So for the beef stew, I am using some cubed beef as well as some butternut, some carrots, some onions. I'm using brown as well as red onion just because I think it gives it a greater depth of flavor. So I'm just going to put all of that in a slow cooker bag because I will ultimately be cooking this dish in the slow cooker, and it just saves on cleaning up and waste so that I'm not sort of using two different bags. On this occasion, I've obviously used that beef casserole mix that I got from Aldi as well, but I don't always use that just for convenience here. But I will still be adding some salt, pepper, some chili and garlic salt, which I buy from B&M, which I would definitely recommend if you've never tried it, as well as just some mixed herbs and Worcestershire sauce as well. When I'm ready to put it in the slow cooker, I will be adding my sweet potato, which I don't chop ahead of time because it just goes black and that is not very pleasant. And also I'll be adding about a tablespoon of tomato paste and just putting it in the slow cooker, either on high for sort of 4 hours or on low for sort of 8 hours. Moving on to the veggie prep. So the first thing I'm doing here is just prepping the butternut, and I'm going to cube it in quite small sort of 1 centimeter dice. And what I tend to do is I will mix the cubed butternut with cubed carrots as well as cubed sweet potato, and then I roast that at around 180 for sort of 40 minutes, and that is absolutely delicious. There's a couple of different ways that I do that in terms of spices. So I either do salt, pepper, and the chili and garlic salt that I mentioned earlier, or just sort of mix herbs with garlic. Or what is also really nice is if you just add some cinnamon to it, as well as a little bit of sort of golden syrup or brown sugar or something like that. That is really, really delicious. And if your kids don't eat veggies, then that's definitely one to try. So that's the first thing I'm doing here, is prepping the butternut as well as the carrot. As I mentioned earlier, I don't prepare the sweet potato because it goes black. And then the next one that I am going to do is sort of a Mediterranean veggie mix. I'm sure you've seen those in the shop, but it's so easy to do and so much cheaper. So I'm chopping up a red onion. I'm going to put a couple of whole cherry tomatoes in, because when you roast it and it pops, it just is really nice, and you can actually then put less oil on it because it provides that liquid so the veggies don't stick. So I'm doing the red onion, like I mentioned, the cherry tomatoes, some peppers, just whatever colors you have. I would recommend not using green in this, but if you like green, then go ahead. And then lastly, some of the courgette. So again, I will put all of that on a roasting dish, drizzle over a little bit of oil, and then roast it with salt, pepper, and I would most likely add the chili and garlic salt as well as some mixed herbs, and roast it in the oven for about 35 minutes at 180. Moving on to some snacks for the kids, and we're going to start off with these energy balls. So the ingredients are very simple. It's a cup of raw oats, to a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of golden syrup, a dash of vanilla extract, and then I add sort of a little bit less than a tablespoon of hazelnut spread. I've also used Biscoff spread in the past, and that's really nice. And then I've just added a 1/4 cup or so of Smarties, just to make it fun for the kids, because anything that has a bit of color they love. My kids absolutely love this. It's the first thing that they ask for when they come home from school, and it is really, really filling without sort of spoiling their appetite for dinner. Another meal prep that I'm doing is just some teriyaki chicken. So again, I'm just cubing the chicken into sort of bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to make the simplest teriyaki sauce ever. So it's just soy sauce, equal amounts of soy sauce and brown sugar, and then we add in some garlic and some ginger. And what I've done here is I've just marinated this for a couple of hours, but you can of course meal prep this and put it in the freezer and just take it out when you're ready to eat it, to defrost during the day. So I'm just going to mix all of that up and leave it in the fridge for the day, and then we'll actually be having that for dinner this night. And you'll see that I served it on this particular occasion with just some white rice and some broccoli and some corn from the freezer. So very quick and easy one. Last but not least is my carrot cake overnight oats. So I'm mixing together 1/3 cup of oats, 1/3 cup of milk, as well as 1/3 cup of yogurt, and 2 teaspoons of chia seeds. And then in terms of flavorings, I'm mixing in 1 grated carrot, some cinnamon to taste because cinnamon is life, and then I'm adding in a dash of skinny syrup. I'm using the caramel pecan one, which is my favorite one, as well as a teaspoon of peanut butter, just mixing all of that together. And then when I'm ready to serve it in the morning, if I'm really hungry, I'll finely dice an apple and just put that on top, and then more cinnamon, and that is absolutely delicious. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.